So I got confused for a second on this one. I didn't want to spend too much time on the video, but I figured it out. Okay, so I'm going to prove this triangle is congruent to that one. And sometimes when you don't know exactly what to do, you should just kind of start and then see where it heads, like we've talked about this. I'm super close to proving that this triangle is congruent to that triangle because I have a side and an angle. So if I had just one other part, then I would be good. But I'm going to go ahead and say AX is congruent to AY, and that's given. And then XZ is congruent to YZ, and that's given. And then AZ is congruent to AZ, that's reflexive. So now I have side, 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 so I can say triangle AXZ is congruent to triangle AYZ for side, side, side. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and say that this angle is congruent to that angle. So angle AXZ is congruent to angle AYZ. And this is what took me a minute to kind of figure out. And that's because the corresponding parts congruent triangles are congruent. So now that I know that, because this adds up to 180 and this adds up to 180, then that means those leftover pieces have to be congruent. But let me show you how you actually say it. So I'm going to say angle AXZ plus angle ZXB equals 180 degrees. Hey. Yeah, it's right there in that blue bin, please. Thank you. And then angle AYZ, excuse me. I'm saying this angle plus CYZ equals 180. Okay, so those are supplementary angles. Okay, and then I can say that they're equal to each other. Angle. So if that's 180 and that's 100, I can say that they equal each other. This is going to be a long proof. Okay, and that's substitution. Okay, and then because this is congruent to this, I can subtract them from both sides and say that angle ZXB equals angle CYZ, okay, by subtraction of congruent angles. I don't know, I'm getting creative there, but just so that I don't have to show every one of those steps. Okay, so now I just said that this angle here is congruent to this angle here. So now I have enough to show that those triangles are congruent. The triangle BXZ is congruent to triangle CYZ from angle, side, angle. And then I can say that XB is congruent to YC from corresponding parts congruent triangles are congruent. And then I can say that AX plus XB is congruent to AY plus YC. So again, I'm going to be creative in my reason, which is going to save me some steps here. I'm going to say addition, postulate of segment of congruent segments. Okay, and that makes it quicker where I don't have to say that this equals, that this equals that and that equals that, okay? But then I can say AB is congruent to AC, okay? And the reason for that is also segment addition. Okay, and then I didn't leave myself enough room, but the last thing I would write was a triangle ABC is isosceles, and the reason for that would be definition of isosceles. Okay. And then the last one here, prove triangle ABE is congruent to ACG. So these two triangles here, the end. And I was looking at it, and if I use that same trick I used over here in this one, I'm going to be able to say that this triangle or that angle is congruent to that angle because these angles add up to 180. Okay. And then the other thing I can say is that this angle is congruent to this angle because the whole big triangle is isosceles. And then I'll have an angle on the side. I don't have to prove that these two triangles are congruent. Okay, so this is the quicker way. If you prove that this triangle is congruent to that triangle, and then you said this side is congruent to that, and then go from there. But I was looking at it, and I was like, wow, this could be done pretty quickly as a shortcut. You can still get it correct as long as you show logical steps that work out. So I'm going to start by saying that angle BEA plus angle AEF equals 180 degrees, and that's supplementary angles. And then angle CGA is congruent to angle, not congruent, plus AGF equals 180. That's supplementary. And then angle BEA is congruent, or plus AEF equals substitution. And then I haven't said it yet, so I'm going to need to, that angle AEF is congruent to angle AGF. Okay, that's given. Now that I've said that this is congruent to this, then if those are the same, I can subtract it from both sides and get angle BEA is congruent to angle CGA, and I would say that's subtraction of congruent segments. Okay. And then, so now I just showed that BEA is congruent to that. Okay. So now I need to say that angle ABE is congruent to angle ACG. Okay, and that's because of isosceles base angle theorem. Okay, and then now I have all the parts I need to say that triangle ABE is congruent to triangle ACG because of angle, side. Now, you could have done that completely different. Like I said, you could have shown that these two triangles are congruent, and then showed that this is congruent to that, and then done, something other than that. And so there's more than one way to do proofs sometimes. And still get the full correct answer. Hopefully this helps you guys.